All right, the race for the White House for 2024 continues. So at the grand old age of 80, Joe Biden, your president, he is by far the most failed president, at least that I've seen in my lifetime, probably in the history of the U.S. And yet now he wants a second term in office. Unfortunately for Joe, well, gravity seems to have other ideas. Now, yesterday, the entire country watched in shock another scary looking fall, tumbling to the ground with a loud thump after having to be helped to his feet by multiple onlookers. Well, then Biden appeared dazed. He appeared confused. When he took a seat, his breathing was visibly labored. Didn't look particularly well, and no doubt it was a pretty scary moment for the president. But it wasn't just the fall that's deeply concerning. Earlier in the day, Biden needed a lot of help, special help, to find the stage and the podium. And during the speech, Joe had some, well, let's call them unusual moments. Take a look.
It wasn't all push-ups and cramming for Prague Week, though to set the Guinness Book of Records, world records, most simultaneous push-ups, there had to be an enormous amount of push-ups. Had him out doing loops and barrel rolls on a glider. I asked if I could do that today, and the Secret Service said, no, we'll have to shoot it down. By the way, I met with, who are those guys that fly over shortly? You heard of them, haven't you? 3 of them are women. And your class is one of the most diverse classes in the history of this academy or any academy to graduate. That's why we're strong. That's why we're who we are. That's why we'll never give up. That's why.
Who are those guys that are about to do the flyover thing? Anyway, so after those very bizarre remarks, Biden returned home to the White House. And what happens? Well, he hit his head on Marine One. He then told the press corps that a rogue sandbag was responsible for him tripping and falling. Take a look.
I got sandbags. No braces.
Well, unfortunately, it appears that Biden has bigger problems than being sandbagged, but the media mob, they don't seem to care. Fake news, CNN, MSDNC, they barely mention Biden's fall like it never happened. In contrast, 4 years ago, here's how they covered Donald Trump. Remember, it was raining. He had a ramp. It didn't have a railing of any kind, and it was a very wet outdoor speech he gave at West Point. And so in dress shoes, he walked slowly. Never fell. He very wisely walked slowly. Take a look.
President Trump is now the oldest president to hold office during a first term as he celebrated his 74th birthday yesterday. However, this milestone is bringing up new questions about his health, particularly over the moment with this weekend where he cautiously descended a ramp during the commencement speech at West Point Academy.
Tonight, new questions about President Trump's health after this walk down a ramp at West Point's graduation ceremony this weekend.
One doesn't need to be a physician to note that the president hasn't looked well recently, and he didn't look well on Saturday.
Having momentary stumbles, momentary lapses in, it looks straining for a word or whatever it might be.
President Trump is not known for being athletic, so maybe he just has a hard time going down a gently sloping ramp. But do you see something possibly neurological that could be throwing off his balance?
It's so hard to say.
It's amazing. The media mob, they had nothing to say about Joe tripping and falling yet again yesterday.